My name is Leah Marville once again, and this evening I'm going to give you an anecdotal presentation on entertainment tourism through my company, MyDestination Weekend. To tell you how I started this company, I have to give you a glimpse into my lifestyle, just a little bit. Over my years, I've been fortunate enough to accumulate a few accolades for myself, as you would see on the screen, from which I've had the benefit of living in several countries and traveling extensively. I've become a bit of a nomadic traveler, which arises out of my lifestyle as a model and television host where travel is the main component. And I must admit, the beauty of such a lifestyle is that you not only get to see many places, but you also get to feel the magic, experience the culture, meet the people, and become a part of the soul of that destination. I typically spend short periods of time in various cities, and because of this, I tried to soak in everything that each country had to offer, from nightlife to wildlife and everything in between. Then, when it was over and it was time to leave, I would try to find ways to hold on to the memories through souvenirs and photos. Every time I returned from one of my trips, I would always get the same message from my friends, which would always be, "Next time you're going, just give me a call, nah?" So one day I did. And just like that, the concept of the weekend and the weekenders, as I like to call, or as we like to call ourselves, it was born. So who is a weekender? We've defined it for ourselves. A weekender is a person who travels to a destination for an activity, usually for 4 days. That includes Saturday and Sunday, of course. The MyDestination Weekend brand was created out of the lifestyle that we wanted to live. That is the weekender lifestyle. Outside of the carnival circuit, our friends wanted frequent mini vacations. We needed an opportunity or a reason to go to an island, party, sunbathe, be a tourist, and return before work started the following week. So my team and I, we designed the MyDestination Weekend brand. Originally to be a modern festival for the entire Caribbean, bouncing from one island to the next to give our guests a reason to sample every island that the Caribbean has to offer. That was the plan originally. What we naturally grew into was a travel agency, because after we visited an island, for instance, we became bombarded with requests to organize lodging, activities, and sightseeing for friends who wanted to visit the island themselves and experience what we did. It is also in our second year of piloting that the concept of MyDestination Weekend that we understood the need to revamp tourism souvenirs, to adapt to the current traveling demographic, because we were swamped with the demand for our promotional material, such as the t-shirts and the cups. As you see on the screen, the butt is not for sale, it's not a souvenir, it's the shirts and the cups. Originally, it was intended to be promotional material, but the demand was so high that we had to start selling the souvenirs. So after 2 years of piloting the brand, we decided to incorporate the Destination Weekend Company and formalize our objectives to develop the concepts and solutions for the viability of entertainment tourism in the Caribbean as a business model. And this is our mission statement. MyDestination Weekend is a brand that seeks to capitalize on the desire of millennials to have new experiences and a taste of adventure by creating exciting and unique travel weekends and packages. Me and my other director, the tall, handsome guy, you might see him walking around with me, we're both millennials, as Ting just spoke on, with differing yet complementary roles. I'm the brawn of the operation, responsible for business development, investments, and negotiation. Nal is our idea architect and specializes in social media, marketing, and the neuroscience and behavioral patterns of millennials. This is very important. We have started our business model by taking baby steps in the form of mini vacations over 3 to 4 day weekends. Our services include the development of concepts for weekend experiences, coordination of events with major event promoters and communities throughout the region, marketing and executing events, and also offering consultation to governments and tourist boards in the development of strategies for entertainment tourism And lastly, strategies for marketing to millennials. And over the last 3 years, we have developed our objectives, if you allow me to just run through them very quickly. To increase revenue to the islands of the Caribbean through entertainment and travel, to increase domestic and international travel into the Caribbean, to solidify the Caribbean as an entertainment and festival capital. And this would fill the void that Ting Ting just spoke about, where people think we just come, for beach and to lie down and take a tan and go back home. We also want to be the host of a global festival, to increase and forge avenues and opportunities for our people on an international level. This is an indirect outcome. To increase export of our products and services through entertainment and to engage in modern tourism through entertainment. Our tagline is touchdown, party, takeoff, which perfectly encapsulates our essence. So what is this thing called entertainment tourism? Entertainment and tourism as separate terms have often been discussed together. However, entertainment tourism as a tourism concept and business model in the Caribbean, if I may say so, is still developing and relatively untapped. The concept of entertainment tourism has largely been discussed and championed by some of the islands in the Caribbean, like Jamaica, with them having a department of government dedicated to that and a minister of entertainment. We have also seen many articles in the Gleaner newspaper highlighting the benefits of entertainment to Jamaica's tourist industry, like the Jazz and Blues Festival being a good example and the Reggae Sumfest. Now, I'm hoping that I can engage you through this presentation, the policymakers and the key holders, to consider and give more energy to investment and time in defining and developing the policies and strategies into this concept. I can agree with those who have been discussing it already that this is a niche on its own. We at MyDestination Weekend have defined entertainment tourism for ourselves, which, if you will, I would like to share with you. We have developed an affectionate name for it as well. N2 is what we like to call it because we shorten everything. We have this thing called word smash. We put two words together and then smash them. So now we have entertainment tourism, N2. The gathering of an audience which has traveled for an activity that holds and engages its interest for a limited period of time. So in moving forward with this concept of N2, we must acknowledge that the conversations around the developing niche now have to be backbone with conversation of the integration of social media as the leading driving force in modern times of consumer behavior, activity, and travel, and further the interests of the modern traveler. So let me now share with you how we at MyDestination Weekend leverage this niche and how we apply it to our business model. Why entertainment tourism is so important to MyDestination Weekend. We first discovered that the people in our immediate age group live their lives through social media. This is no secret. We also noted that they were developing trends where they would use their Instagram and Facebook pages often as travel diaries or a testament to their lifestyles. The more we paid attention, the more we realized that our friends and peers form part of a very large demographic of travelers who are interested in building an arsenal of experiences to document for social media, often to differentiate themselves from their peers to make them look cool. And the cool experiences most oftentimes were centered around entertainment. We use entertainment at the core of our destination weekends. We create an itinerary of events or a flagship event as the motivator or the pull factor for visitors to the weekend. And our strategy is that once we have the group of people on island, we engage them in an itinerary of activities that cause them to interact with the uniqueness of a particular destination's essence. So we create an entertainment package which is infused with authentic experiences to build an intimate appreciation for the character of that island so that they would be intrigued enough to make repeat visits after the weekend is over. And this is what we're trying to promote. With the emergence of social media, barriers to travel have been broken down, where the world appears smaller and places are more accessible. So on this basis, MyDestination Weekend focuses on entertainment tourism with one of our critical tools being, again, social media. At the Destination Weekend Company, we see the importance of creating fresh new experiences as opposed to the same story, different location. We believe that the history, character, and landscape of each Caribbean island is unique and dynamic enough to create different, refreshing, and exciting experiences time and time again. It's a love affair and connectivity with each island that we're trying to create. So I would like to show you a snapshot of what MyDestination Weekend does. It's a video. We were a little excited in the video, so forgive us. We don't care if you don't fit from a back,
Weekend is a new tourism-oriented weekend, making Barbados a destination where the rest of the Caribbean or foreigners, international, would come to Barbados to enjoy entertainment and not just sunshine and sea. So it's going beyond our natural resources, it's going beyond what we've traditionally sold as tourism for the last few years, to offer something a bit more and less entertaining.
Our target market are millennials. The millennials are the weekenders, like myself. And just to go quickly, they're a generation of persons who were born between 1980 and 1997 and account for the largest group of modern travelers. We were born in a time of rapid adaptation with the introduction and development of technology occurring in our youth, which was fully integrated into our lifestyles by adulthood. Millennials operate differently from Gen Ys, as we know, and baby boomers. They find themselves seeking personal fulfillment in areas of interest to them as a priority, sometimes more than they seek financial fulfillment, and that is important. They are spontaneous and flexible. Millennials either make decisions based on the decisions that their friends have already made, or they make decisions based on what they think their friends would think. And this is the reason there's a huge impact that social media has had the impact that it has. Millennials are more likely to use the internet as a platform to broadcast their thoughts and experiences, to contribute with user-generated content. They are known as digital natives. As such, living via social media and living real life blend seamlessly together, and it is for that reason that we must be minded that our entertainment experiences allow them to make that seamless blend. So how do we do this? We have to do this by creating photo opportunities for them to experience in real life, but equally important for them to post. They have to be able to experience it, but also it has to look good enough that when they post it, they look cool enough. We must also speak to them in their language. And this is some of the interactive social media that we've done at MyDestination Weekend. Things like, never swim by your selfie. We all know what a selfie is. And we've altered the word self to now speak to them. Millennials pursue travel as if they're keeping a scorecard and checking off experiences as they go. I once read a book, Marketing to Millennials, and they noted that millennials have a singular quest, which is achieving a variety of experiences. Those experiences are largely centered around entertainment. They're egocentric, image-driven, and that's the view of their world. Millennials see themselves as important, even celebrity-like. It's also important to know that millennials care deeply about their personal brand. They believe there is an audience for every minute detail of every action and every thought, and they will broadcast these details to their network. So we need to create novel content that will make something shareable. They are also very influential as a demographic. So even if you're not a millennial, you're probably influenced by a millennial. This is why my 79-year-old aunt has an Instagram page. It blows my mind every day, and she posts on it, but, I guess she thinks she's young, and who says she's not? But in essence, she's influenced by us. who are her, her nieces, her grandchildren. And you, as non-millennials, will also be influenced by your children, whether you wish to admit it or not. I'm sure all of you have social media pages. So presently, there's a growing travel trend amongst native Caribbeans, and this is what we like to refer to our Caribbean people at My Destination Weekend. There's a large movement of Caribbean millennials between carnivals around the world and small weekend experiences. The growing trend amongst millennial peers is to use their weekends to take advantages of these experiences. They would leave or depart their destination either on Thursday night for those who have flexibility with their jobs, or Friday to begin their action-packed weekend, and return on the last flight home on Sunday, or the first flight on Monday morning, and they're going straight to work. Trinidadian party groups like Caesar's Army, Scorch, Illusions Mass, My Destination Weekend are the largest stimulants of this trend. Each of these groups have a large following of loyal participants who follow their events. We partner with each of these groups in the territory in the production of our weekends, depending on the type of experiences that we wish to create. Now, I'd like to take the opportunity to mention that notwithstanding the importance of international visitors, we have to start acknowledging in the Caribbean that we have an audience within ourselves. We are a region of 22 million, if I'm correct with that number, inclusive of Haiti, correct? And whilst that number is small in the grand scheme of things on a world basis, it's significant for the size of our region, and there's still economic advantages that can be garnered by facilitating the movement of these 22 million people within the region. Millennials are very interested in experience, and they're going to spend their last dollar to live it up for the gram. Do not underestimate that. So, however, though, they will settle for going to the USA over and over again, not because they're intrigued by the destination, but because it is cheaper to get there, and also because they get more bang for their buck. The present reality is that there are a couple weekends that Caribbean and the diaspora, Caribbean diaspora, that's the people that are living abroad, what they travel to. They travel to Trinidad Carnival, Jamaica Carnival, St. Lucia, Vincy, Cropover, or Jamaica, or Toronto, all happening at the same time. Spice Mass in Grenada, they do Miami Carnival, Heroes Weekend in Jamaica, and then there's a New Year's weekend, and they do that like it's a cycle. Right now, there's a growing trend of that happening. What our goal is to try to create and increase the amount of weekends happening, especially in the down period and outside of these large carnival weekends. So that brings us to our next slide, just before we're winding down. The business of festivals. Now, one of the areas related to N2 is that we're experiencing significant growth in recent years in festivals. Joe Reynolds, who is the CEO of the Firefly Music Festival, which is a pretty big music festival in the US, stated that there's an increasing trend of multifaceted social events and people who are willing more than ever to make sure that they do not miss out on experiential destination weekends with their friends. While it is acknowledged that the festival tourism is not without its challenges, especially for the Caribbean, there is no doubt that the younger and younger generations are getting into the trend of festival weekends. So taking a look inward to our Caribbean region, we have had a few successful festivals for many years, which have had major impact on tourism, such as Reggae Sunsplash, as I mentioned before. That's in Jamaica, St. Lucia Jazz, Carnival in Trinidad, Cropover in Barbados, just to name a few. While acknowledging our past successes, however, there is an undeniable refreshed energy towards these festivals and more than ever towards the Caribbean. We face challenges in the Caribbean that make the hosting of festivals more risky than it is for promoters in the US. However, if we adapt smaller festival weekends as well as focus investment in this area, festival tourism can be significant in rewards for the countries of the Caribbean. And my next slide just talks quickly about the benefits of festivals. I'm going to run through them quickly. It enhances entertainment tourism, which gives something more than just sun, sand, and sea. It increases the entertainment content in our calendar during the slow period, increases the potential for hotel occupancies, again, during the slow periods, export of our creative industries during and out of season, increased foreign exchange throughout the year, content distribution through social media and blogs about our culture and history. This creates free advertising and spokespersons. In essence, our message to the rest of the world kind of changes. And again, it will take care of the problem that Ting Ting mentioned in her research, where people think there's nothing happening in the Caribbean. It leads also to community development, employment of local persons in the tourism and entertainment sectors, solidity of the brand Caribbean and its identity as a place rich in culture, social virality and platform for local artists, culture, and people and business. So, why we're here? Teach me to niche, the way forward, as we see it. In this segment, I would like to highlight what MyDestination Weekend sets out as its mandates to be able to achieve our objectives in entertainment tourism. We create tailor-made entertainment concepts that in turn create travel demands for islands. So as Ting Ting mentioned, catering to millennial couples who want to travel or girlfriend getaways, those are the big macro perspective concepts that we would come up with to get people interested and to come to the Caribbean. Then secondly, we create content souvenirs through entertainment tourism. So whether through events, recreation, or whatnot. This is the micro perspective. And this means that once we have the visitors on island, after the first step of buying into the getaway, for example, the girlfriend's getaway, we create smaller experiences within the big one. So at our events, we'll create content souvenirs. That is content that can become photos for their Instagram and for their family photo albums. We also use culture, history, and landscape to create a unique and intimate presentation of that particular island. Although we acknowledge that we have similar history, patterns, and lifestyle that permeate our Caribbean region, we pull out those unique differences through the same history and culture and tell a different story of each particular island, which only that island can tell. It is through history and culture that we seek to create the traveler's love affair with the island. We then develop strategies for distribution and visibility of island content and experiences throughout the world. This is through social media at large, blog sites, native advertising, using hashtags and other strategies. This is after the weekend experience and in the lead up to the next weekend experience. And this is where the real work comes in. So quick expansion, how do we urge people to travel for events? It all comes down to, as Ting Ting said, content. Content is the new social currency. Content is the new social currency. I repeated it. The goal is simple. We know that we want them to come. We know we have identified that the target market is millennials. So the question is, how do we reach them and how do they consume our message? There is one particular place that millennials feed, and that is social media or the internet. And this is where they spend 60% of their time while using their mobile device. So let's create content. The general message that we should be sending is that we are fun, come to the Caribbean for a good time, and to experience the hashtag island life. Now, if you go to Instagram and you check this hashtag, there are 1.6 roughly million posts, which shows how popular we are as a people, despite what Ting Ting said. Hashtags are designed to measure performance, and they can be used to advertise, but they're also more effective in grouping relevant data in one spot for easy consumption. So once we send that message with every person that lands on our shores, they are the first line of marketing, and they become the initiators of information on Caribbean lifestyle. I'm not sure what happened there. Okay. Right, so experiences are the new trophies of social media. The new traveler wants to have an off-location experience and to document everything to show their friends what they have done, almost as a trophy. So let's give them experiences simultaneously that makes it easier for them to document and share. And now we're coming down to the last part, the practical how-tos. These are the simple steps that could probably be taken now. Wi-Fi and hotspots, this is very important. As a millennial, this is very, very important. And I must say that the CTO has done a great job at this conference because the internet has been off the chain. Very reliable. So Wi-Fi and hotspots. We have to start with a strong, reliable internet and Wi-Fi connection. Nothing is better than taking a picture and being able to post it in real time. Not when the sun, you can't take a day picture and post it when the sun has gone down. It doesn't add up. So then that post goes to the next day when the sun is up. But you might be doing something else. So real time is important. Strong internet Wi-Fi at all tourist attractions, especially the airports. And this is also an opportunity to capture data and use for advertising. For guests to use Wi-Fi, they must sign up with Facebook, Twitter, or email account. And this is a way, again, to data collect. The second point, installations. Each island should have an installation that identifies the location of the place and country. This would be great. This would increase the amount of impressions via social media. It becomes an attraction in and of itself, as you would see. And I noticed Curacao has a name sign, as well as St. Martin has a name sign. This is very important. In essence, it becomes a unique creative identifier that puts the destination top of mind. And there are different types of installations. As you can see, Toronto uses their name. This big couch in the middle was at Jefferson Community College, and then the apple is another kind of creative way of saying Big Apple, New York. And these are things that can change over time if you want to get creative and artistic as a destination. So next on the list, souvenirs. As I mentioned before, souvenirs are very important. Modern travelers are looking for more meaningful souvenirs. That's the type of souvenir that they can integrate into their everyday lives, like cool design t-shirts or cups, luggage tags, flags that can be worn as clothing. No longer are persons interested in purchasing ornaments as souvenirs. We must evolve and modernize with the times. Again, partnering with party brands, as I mentioned before, that have their own community groups. This is going to become very important for reaching a large community of people intimately and quickly. Next up, destination brand identity, and we've all done a pretty good job at this so far, but this is still something that we must look at and continuously revamp as times go forward. Yeah. Each island must clearly identify their identity and market that to the world. And again, the last point is travel incentives, stuff like BFF programs where you encourage a friend to come and you get incentives, cluster grouping between islands, that kind of thing. And of course, lastly, I just want to look at the challenges, because we do have challenges and we do acknowledge that interregional travel is a big issue for us. We have it allows only a limited amount of persons to come to our destination. For example, we went to Grenada and there were only 4 flights a day, which is, if you do the math, that's 240 persons a day, which means we will never reach the 1,000 people that we need to get on island for the festivals. Taxation structures, again, for events, entertainment events, we have to remove the heavy tax structures so that entertainment promoters can now benefit from throwing the event, sponsorship of events, movement of event materials within the region, lack of investment by tourist board. This is another challenge that we have, governments and policymakers in entertainment tourism. There needs to be a belief that this niche is viable. And my last point, entertainment tourism can enhance the brand Caribbean and also provide employment for a large set of persons spilling outside of the usual tourism market. So through entertainment, you can hire the event guy to put up the sound, the stage guy, food vendors, and it trickles down. The income can trickle down. And so, all in all, despite the challenges we face as the Caribbean, there's something absolutely captivating about us and our people. It is no secret. We are a special group. So MyDestination Weekend seeks to capture and exploit and immortalize that essence for all of the world to consume. I have a lot more to say and a lot more to share, but time is limited, and so I must bring it to an end. But I'm available for further discussion on an individual basis and for sharing more information with you. Masha Danki, thank you for having me.
I'll give you that.